Here's Wilson, and on the right circle, he scores!
Rebound loose, wild scramble in front, score! Ovechkin with a buzzer beater! It'll count!
And a hat trick tonight, number 21,
Spectacular! Braden Holtby!
Hello and welcome once again to the Power Play Point podcast. This is your host, as always, the Blue Liner on Point, talking to you live to tape from a rainy, wet mess of a place called Glen Burnie, Maryland. Yeah. But while we're down on the weather, we are happy to talk about Caps hockey once again, and it was a pretty darn good week, if I do say so. Another three good games in the books, and end of a month also in the books. With me, as always, is my fabulously wonderful co-host, live from Centerville, Virginia. I like to call her the Mermaid, and not just because, well, I don't know why, but just because. She is, of course, the one and only Anna Knox.
Yes. Happy another Sunday, gal. Post-Thanksgiving, how was your holiday?
Oh, well, yes. Thank you for asking. Full of food, maybe perhaps a little too much adult beveraging.
Yeah.
But otherwise, very, very good. And yours?
The same. The same. It was my second Thanksgiving in 5 days. And yes, this time, though, I didn't have to cook, which is always fantastic. But yeah, it was a gorgeous day. Like, it started off ridiculously windy, and then we headed outside of Annapolis to my aunt's house, and it just wound up being a gorgeous day, and family and food and drinks, and it was all good. So no complaints here. But
okay, so you were in my neck of the woods again, eh?
I was. I know one of these days when I go, you'll have to come over, but I figured, on Thanksgiving, it's always hard to put the invite out because everybody has family obligations. So we'll have to have you over for a non-celebratory holiday shindig.
That'll work. And as for me, Wednesday night, which happened to coincide with one of the games, actually what ended up being the first game of the week, I was at a friend's house. Mrs. Blue Liner and me went. It was actually a coworker, but also friend. Very, very non-sports guy. I have a lot of friends like that. So it didn't bother to check my phone. Didn't bother to check on any updates of the game. So that first game, the Florida game, kind of going to be reliant on you because I know you watched it. But
yes, I watched them all.
Right. So it pretty much missed that whole game, but it was a pretty good gathering of coworkers and friends. Good. So it's and then of course Thanksgiving, the usual digs and so forth. But I don't want to say nothing to see here, but it's same old comfortable routine that I've gotten used to and come to like.
It's totally good. There's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing at all.
Nope, not at all. And all I got to say is thank God for Uber.
Oh, wait. So does that mean Drunkill is out in full effect for the holiday season?
For one night only, but yes.
And I missed it? Boo.
He might come back again.
We are coming up to the Christmas episode, which is everyone's favorite.
Well, I don't know quite what we're going to do about that, but we'll figure something out. I know. We'll figure something out.
All good. It's all good. So so you didn't have a chance. Well, either way, you had it sounds like an awesome time with family. and friends over the holiday, which is, I hope everybody else did. I don't know if I'm taking it to heart that no one reached out after our post and after our podcast from last week about needing, to go somewhere, needing someone to talk to during the holidays, because it is a rough time of year for some people. So I didn't hear from anybody. So I hope that means everybody was, at least healthy and safe and happy as much as they could be. And yeah, I will say I was really lazy this holiday. I watched a lot of sports, but I also did a lot of laundry. Ugh. So,
Well, when you get free time, get something done.
all right. So yeah. So anyways, so that was that. So you didn't see the Florida game. Did you see highlights or nothing at all?
The app has the recaps of all the goals, so I did kind of filter through that. I also filtered through certain comments you made during that game, which we'll talk about more.
I hope
in
that was kind of crazy.
Kinda. Only
yeah.
kinda.
You know how I am. I'm not gonna.
We all know how you are, but never more so this night. But we'll get to that later. Now, on something, but only something of a semi-serious note, though.
Yes.
Everyone out there who is something of a serious hockey fan knows of certain things that have transpired over the last week and a half or so. Now, and as we like to say, we're a Washington Capitals podcast. We're a Washington Caps fan podcast. So we don't like to go into stuff that doesn't directly affect them. Well, unfortunately, a member of the team has kind of sort of been involved a little bit, maybe a little bit, not too much, not really on the bad side. But because of that, I feel kind of forced to say something, and I really, this is something I really can't keep my mouth shut about. Now, you on the other side of the speakers, the earbuds, what have you, you might want to have your finger ready to hit the fast forward button or the 30-second forward button or however it is you're listening to this podcast. But I promise you this will be a very brief opening statement. So it won't take very long at all. In fact, it'll literally take just about a minute. So here goes. The Power Play Point podcast is aware of recent events that have involved incidents of both racism and abuse by now former NHL coaches. Save for this brief statement, this podcast will not be providing anything in the way of commentary or coverage to these events. We are a Washington Capitals fan podcast and will proudly continue to be so. Now, let me make two things very clear with the statement. I am not condoning or making light of anything that involves anything in the way of racism or abuse of any kind perpetrated by anybody in the hockey community. Now, what I am trying to make fun of is the fact that this discussion has become a complete circus among the hockey media and its fans and is absolutely going nowhere to solve the issue. Second, this is all my own statement, not made by a lawyer. Views expressed are mine and my own. Me, Gilbert L. Hannibon, also known as the Blue Liner on Point, and Anna Knox is exempt from any statement except that which she states of her own accord. Now, to sum up, that is all my own statement. And if anyone out there listening wants to discuss this with me privately, you can do so through the channels that I'm going to provide at the end of this episode. Thank you. The end.
Right.
So, Anna, if you have
your first name is really Gilbert,
that's what you took away from all that.
Totally kidding, because I knew that would get you riled up. I'm totally kidding. I already knew that.
Yes, that is my given name.
No, right.
I was not named after the Revenge of the Nerds character.
Weren't you though?
If you must know, everybody, I was named after my great uncle.
Okay. It's all good. Yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna. Yeah. You said you had something to say, and That's it. Like, I don't even want to get into it
I
because
totally understand. And
yeah,
as I said, if you want to take a pass on this, you are not obligated in any way, shape, or form to say anything. And by my quote unquote haha legal statement I just put out there, you are absolved from anything that I put out. So
right, which I appreciate, but it doesn't mean that I don't, find that this is, 2019 and absolutely, ugh, I don't even know the word, like disgusting, infuriating, whatever that any kind of racial anything, uh, relationships, comments are even still part of our conversation, not ours, but just today's society, just breaks my heart. Just it really truly does. So to have anything that's like, when then it's in sports and then players are commenting, and yeah, I'll leave it at that I feel like that's like it's like a can of worms right there. And I know everybody's has their comments and stuff, but I just, yes, the players should be heard. Do I agree with the coaches? Absolutely not. um the race card never ever ever should be played. I don't care if it's in sports, jobs, relationships, whatever it is. So that's where I stand on that. It's just heart-wrenching to know that people were hurt in this situation. And, here we are, people getting fired and players coming out with stories, and other people coming out. And so yeah, I support your statement. It's all good.
It's starting to get out of hand. But okay, so that's Anna's feelings on that. So don't at her, don't message her, don't bug her
No.
with this crap. Okay, that's her take. That's all she's going to say. I've said all I'm going to say publicly. You want to talk to me privately about this? You want to know my true feelings about it? I'm going to give you a couple, 3 ways to contact me, and that'll be that. We're not going to waste any more time on this show.
Agreed.
Okay, so now with that out of the way, let's go ahead into the week that was in Caps hockey. You out there listening, whether you be anywhere in the DMV, that of course is the District of Columbia, the state of Maryland, and the Commonwealth of Virginia, and of course all points across the globe listening. We got fans in Canada, Scotland, hello Fee, England, Wales, hello Mr. Thomas,
Yes.
Germany, I think I heard from France, Germany and France. Hope Mr. Lionel as well. Let's see. I think we have 1 or 2 in Brazil as well. So we really are global, and I am thankful for that. So
we're both thankful for that.
Yep. So let's just go ahead and get into that. So 3 games played by our Washington Capitals and 3 wins.
Yes.
So the first of which, as I mentioned earlier, I did not have the opportunity to catch myself because I was out with friends. And that, of course, was the game against the Florida Panthers. Okay, so I made some notes here. I don't want to oversimplify this, but basically it came down to one sentence. This was a 40-minute effort by the team, and they were bailed out by Braden Heltby. Right. So, I mean, yeah. So that's the Reader's Digest version, of course, because I didn't see it. You, of course, had the benefit of seeing the damn game.
I did.
So you can provide more context and detail.
Well, you know what? I will say, though, that it's hard because compared to last night's game where they came out terribly in the first period, I was like, what the hell's going on? We scored the first and only goal with Ovechkin in the first period. Guaranteed it wasn't until 17:57, but it doesn't matter. We scored. So that was okay. And it kind of calmed things down a little bit. But, then you have a Brett Connolly goal. And I think they did a really, I don't know if you saw it or, well, no, you didn't. Sorry. I didn't mean to say that. Like, it sounded like a total jerk, but they did a really cool tribute to him. Excuse me. No, I'm not getting choked up. I'm just getting over a cold. but it was really, it was really cool. And it was very touching to kind of see his reaction to it. He was very humbled and very not wanting the attention whatsoever. But they did a great job of highlighting Brett Conley as a Capitals player. So, so he scores, whatever. Ponick.
Had a Richard Ponick sighting that game.
Yes. And you know what I like? I like when he has an assist by Seeks. I don't know. There's something about that I just think is a really good, is it just a good pair, duet, whatever you want to call it. I just like them together. But was it 60 minutes of hockey from the Capitals? No, but it was more sporadic. It wasn't like they came out weak in the first because we scored first. But they definitely looked stronger in the third. And I feel like that wasn't something that we saw also often, maybe last season or even the beginning games where we maybe came out strong and then we sort of petered a little bit. But I will say I have a new teacher's pet.
And that is?
At Leipzig.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think I know why, but we'll get into him in a minute. I am watching the replay of the Ponick goal, and okay, so to describe the play,
right.
Siegenthaler was behind his net and basically pitchforked the puck out. Say that 5 times fast. Over the end line, or the red line rather, and then somehow Ponick got loose, recovered it just after it crossed the line, and put a wrister past Bobrovsky, who looked extremely startled, like you put a flaming bag of dog poo on his plate and put it in front of him or something.
Gross. But yes.
And that made it 2-1 or no 2-1. Yeah, 2-1.
Yeah, no, 2-1. But and that's what Ponick needed was, after not seeing him do anything for a couple of games, and then of course, God forbid if he's on social media listening to people chirping about, why do we have number 14 and he's not doing anything and on, that can get into your head. But I think that he is healthy now and 100% into the game. So I don't know, there's just something about that Siegs Ponick thing that I like that little set.
Yes, and I believe, okay, so 22 seconds later, and mind you, we're in the last minute of the second,
right.
Mike Hoffman ties it, makes it 2-2, with what was, I guess, looked like the back-breaking goal, because they'd just gone up, figured they were going into the period ahead, and you gave up that kind of goal that fast. Never, ever a good thing. But little did I know, at that point would be the time that my co-host would dig into her bag of tricks and pull out her crystal ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
Nothing at all. I see these things before. It's so modest, so blasé, so meh. Psychic seer you.
That's it.
And so didn't you? Okay, so I'm pretty sure you texted me, because I don't see the message on the Facebook page, but I'm pretty sure you texted me and said, watch Eller score here next.
No, I didn't. No, what I said was, because Leipzig had just missed a goal, and I thought, that's okay, Leipzig. Like, you've got this, or
right,
you're going to get it next. Or,
right. I do see that.
Yeah, something like that. And
I thought though you also called the Eller goal. That you predicted. I might have. Well.
I honestly, I'd have to look back at my messages. I don't even know. I know Leipzig's. He's the one that stood out, because I was like, you know what? He just, God, he is so fast. And I think I've always put Jacob Rana like up at the top of like speed skate skill, like, oh my God, he's amazing. Leipzig is right there, and I just started to just really zone in on this player. And yeah, so when I posted that, I just basically had said, okay, hey, listen, this is it's okay, Leipzig, like you'll get yours soon, or you'll get a goal soon, or something like that. And then it happened.
Well, I saw that, and I didn't started freaking out because I know what you're capable of, but what I was hoping for was maybe the next set of numbers in the next Mega Millions jackpot. Maybe
Right.
something.
You and me both.
I kid. I kid. Okay, so he gets what turns out to be the game-winning goal. Siegenthaler with another assist on that one. With 8 minutes left in the third, Florida pulls within one. Vincent Trocheck, who always seems to kill this team with his fourth of the year, to put within 4.5 minutes left to play, but they close it out. 3 stars of the game. This pretty much says it all. Braden Holtby, the number 1 star of the game. 40 shots faced, 36 saves. That's all you need to know about that. Brendan Leipzig, of course, in number 2, and Trocheck with the number 3. So yeah, as I summarize, maybe not quite accurately, but not a 100% effort, but Holtby was definitely there for them. Any of you doubters that say replace him with Samsonov now, shut up, please.
No way.
Enough of that talk.
No, he was on it for this, and it was impressive. And I will have to say, not that I have we ever really truly acknowledge other players, but I've already talked about Brett Conley. But Trocheck is he's one not to dismiss, and just think, whatever's Florida Panthers, whatever. He's a damn good player. And I will say Braden Holtby came out giving it his all this night. But if you look at the stats, you have shots on goal 40 from the Panthers, 20 from the Caps. So honestly, if you thought at the beginning of the game, I was like, oh, hey, look at us. We're up in the first period, and then not so much. And then we came back, and I think, if that's going to be the pattern of the Capitals, that's great. I hope we stick with it, but I don't want to get so far in the hole where we're trying to bounce back from, more than a 4-goal deficit. But yeah, it was just to look at the stats afterwards. I'm like, I don't know. I thought it was a pretty good game, but
yeah,
whatever.
Yeah. Well, that of course I think was the most telling stat. So I think that's really the one takeaway I think we should all remember from that game. So moving on to the next one. Caps hosted another Florida rival, this time the Tampa Bay Lightning. This one, the quality of the game overall was a lot better. It's a Friday night. It's a good effort. It's a Friday night game. The fans were into it. Not that they weren't into it Wednesday, but everybody was into it. It was a Lightning. It
was an early game too.
Yeah, well, that because it's Black Friday, but yeah,
right.
But I wanted a little bit more blood and guts in this one because there's a couple of guys on there that I really can't stand. I was really hoping would get clobbered in this one, but that didn't really happen. But I mean, the fact that this was yet another character win, and of course we all saw it as a 4-3 overtime win. Dmitry Orlov with the game winner. Probably the one person who was less likely to pot the game winner in overtime, I thought would maybe be a Nick Jensen or a Siegenthaler, but
right.
Aren't you the one that says that Orlov should shoot more?
Shoot more, yes. Speak less. It's just terrible to say.
That okay. So yes, you were less than enthused with his post game.
Well, it's like when you meet somebody, whether it's this minor, like, social media kind of thing, or it's a celebrity and all of a sudden they open their mouth and start talking. You're like, whoa, didn't expect that voice. And so I don't know, for me, whatever it was, and it's like, it's not like this isn't the first time I've heard him speak, but for some reason his interview on the on the ice after the game, I was like, I can't. I mean, he was like, the star of the game, and rightfully so. But then when he started talking, I just burst into, I just couldn't stop myself. I just like, what the hell? His voice just didn't kind of match the I don't know, physique. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah,
but I certainly didn't expect to see him score. Didn't see it coming. But I will say I've never been a huge fan of his, which is kind of disappointing because you want to like everybody on the team, but for some reason number 9 just hasn't done anything to make me feel like that's it. I'm gonna buy the jersey. I'm gonna go to the autograph sessions. I'm gonna seek him out to sign something. Just not feeling it, and I don't know what it's gonna take. This was fantastic. It was great, and the team loved it, and they needed it, and he looked great. And then there was the interview, and I'm like, there we go. Back to where I was in the beginning. I don't dislike the guy, but he's not my favorite player.
No, fair enough. But I will say this about Orlov is that though we find him very frustrating about 96% of the time, that 4% he's really, really good and does stuff like this.
And he's physical.
That he is. And we kind of miss that now that Mr. Brooks Orpik is gone out to pasture. Okay, so yes, as I said, this was a comeback win. Caps put themselves in a 3-1 hole, Kuznetsov being the only goal scorer after 2 periods. And then Vrana pulls them in within 1, 3:45 into the third, and then the captain on the power play, a historic goal for him, ties it with 7.5. Sorry, my numbers are off. My timing is off today. I wonder why. 8.5 remaining in the final stanza with a historic power play goal. Historic because it ties him for his career with one Teemu Selanne for third all-time, I believe it is, in number of power play goals in a career.
I thought it was 5th, but maybe third is right.
It's 3rd, 4th, or 5th. I can't remember off the top of my head.
It's all good.
And guess who assisted on that one? Dmitry Orlov. So he gets the game winner and assists on the game tying goal, thus earning him first star of this game. Jacob Vrana with the 2nd star, and the captain with the 3rd star. So looking at the vitals, shots on goal, 30 bad guys, 35 good guys. Face-off percentage, kind of even, a little edge to the Lightning. Power play, 2 trips to the box for the Lightning, 2 power play goals for the Capitals, very efficient. 1 for 4 for the Bolts. Of course, Caps. That means the Caps got the better of the sin bin visits, 10 minutes to 6. Yeah, but really out-hit the Lightning 42-24. That might have been what allowed them to come back, or a factor in allowing them to come back. That's a hallmark of their game, their heavy-hitting game, which wears down the opposition. So we know that if those numbers are up, that means their game is in full swing. So I wish I could get a hit breakdown per period, but I would like to think that ramped up from the middle of the second period on. Because that's when the momentum started to swing. Block shots, wow, this is surprising. 28-14 Bolts.
Wow.
Giveaways 6-4 Caps. Takeaways 13-5 Caps. And again, I like to think that all started from the middle of the game onward. So not sure what the problem was. I don't think it was a lack of effort. It just, I don't know. The Lightning just seemed to be more up for the game, but In any case, thank goodness, when it got to OT, 3 shots, none for the Lightning, 3 shots for the Capitals, and of course the game winner that put it away. And yeah, that's pretty much the breakdown of that game. It was not a lack of effort, but a great to see them dig down and come back from behind and pull it out in OT. And best of all, as was stated by our friend from Hershey, no shootout, thanks to
True.
Mr. Orlov.
True. And then I did have a little foreshadowing moment.
Oh, so this was your second of your 2 crystal balls.
Yes, this was the "It's okay, Vrana, it's coming soon." And then they scored.
So whenever you say, okay, it'll be okay, you'll score, that seems to be when it happens.
Well, don't jinx it. But yes. Yeah. It's like, so I'm at 2-0 right now, and then I'm actually 3-0 and we talk about the next game, because you and I spoke or texted well before the game, I think at like 11 in the morning or something like that, and I told you what I was thinking, and then it happened.
I have that text.
Yeah. So yeah.
And I said something to the effect of because we were thinking about skipping this week. I said,
True.
We have to have an episode now. You got to show off your crystal balls. And you responded, well, my balls are thinking a Carly or Willie goal tonight.
Right. And Carly got an assist after having not had one in 3 or 4 games, and then that
point. And of course, as we'll see here in a minute, Mr. Wilson did come through.
Yes, he did. On his ass into the boards, and it was fantastic.
So your balls did the trick.
They did. They spoke the truth, and they don't disappoint. It's all good. It's still a family show, right?
And everybody just comes and comes again back to our show to listen to this quality.
All right, you set yourself up for that one.
On to the final game of
on to Detroit.
On to Detroit, the first game of this long and winding road trip that they will be on for the next week or so. Wow. Okay. I would like to say I saw the whole game. I did not, because the first period literally put me to sleep.
Yeah, you're not alone on that one. It was awful.
Ugh, horrible.
Like, not that it was like you want to be like, oh, because it was so boring. No, it was awful because I don't know how many missed passes, how many just what the hell. I don't even know. It was 20 minutes of what the fuck. And even listening to Alan May and Locker and everybody, they're like, okay, well, let's just chalk this up and hope that they come back and redeem themselves in the second. And there are probably a lot of viewers and fans out there that were like, no way, they're not, it's not going to happen. They look like shit. They started off like shit, and that's it. But I will say, it wound up being a very cool game and an exciting game to watch. So yeah, but
now I'm sorry I missed it all.
Oh, are you serious? So you stopped after the first period?
I fell asleep. I didn't wake. The next thing I heard when I woke up was Alan May and Rob Carlin going over the game in the post-game show.
Oh shit, Gil!
I slept through the whole. I don't know what was wrong. Maybe too much turkey. I don't know. know.
Oh well, this was I definitely, like, you can look at anybody's social media from yesterday, from when the puck dropped at 7 to 7:30 30, let's give it that little leeway with the commercials and the whatever else, that everyone was like, what the hell with this team? Like it was awful. And so I could see wanting to fall asleep. Absolutely. I didn't. I stayed, and I'm so glad that I stayed up to watch this game. And I'm sorry that you didn't.
I'm glad you did too. Otherwise, this recap would be also
Right.
snooze-inducing.
True.
But that all said, let's get to the good part. And I don't
Go ahead.
necessarily mean the captain's hat trick, although that was pretty good in of itself. I think you all know what we mean. You who have listened to us for the last 2 years, since a certain mermaid jumped into my boat. That being 14-23 into the third period, when who should score what turned out to be the game-winning goal on a backhand. Oh, I don't know, assisted by Ovechkin and Kuznetsov, but Wilson's Tom Wilson. So I'm watching the replay now. The caption is Wilson's slick backhander.
Right. If only, like, see, and this is why I don't write for any newspaper or any blogs or anything like that, because I would never be appropriate. But this was fucking awesome, and on his ass to the boards and cheering because he knew he got it in. It was awesome. It was awesome. And he was,
and it was all him. It was pretty much all him. Now Ovechkin made kind of a broken pass to him that got him over the line, and it was all Wilson from there. He recovered it, the half boards, and then kind of did this zigzag skate move and then put in the backhander. And
but it was great. And aside from, my Tommy Love Fest, which has been going on for a couple of years, he started off the season, oh my gosh, just on fire, and scoring and this and it being where he's supposed to be and out of the penalty box and on and on and on. And then we had a little moment of him, not scoring, but it wasn't because he wasn't doing what he's supposed to do. It was just, he was doing other positions and trying other things and being other places on the ice, which is fine. But I needed to see a Tommy goal. I needed to, because I kind of felt like, you know what, it's time for 43 to get back out there and let's hit those 2 digits. And I think the email I sent you or the text I sent you was that I wanted to see Tommy or Carly score. Mm-hmm. And after that one, I was like, oh, mic drop, we're done, I'm good. But then, oh, holy shit, Carlson. Like, not that Carlson hasn't done anything in the last little bit, but, like he started off like a freaking rocket in the beginning. And then of course, everyone who's out there with like, it's been 3 games since we've heard from John Carlson. It's like, give me a break. But it was going to come around, and his assist was fantastic. And I, regardless if I called it or not, I didn't put any money down in the game. So womp womp. But I'm just super proud. And I wish you would have seen it, because it really was a fantastic second and third for sure.
Well, because we're starting to run low on time,
Yes.
I won't really ask about what you said about Tom Wilson and his different positions.
They're all good.
I'll bet.
There's no complaints on his different positions.
I will bet. Okay, so as great as he was, basically the captain says, all right, hold my beer, and proceeds to have a hat trick. Now, of course, you give him a yawning, screaming open net. Yeah, he's going to put in a couple times.
Right.
I'll give you that. But still, a hat trick is a hat trick. And
the third goal, I hope you watch it, because like literally he has a player holding on to his leg and he's dragging him behind him. and he still manages. Yes, it's an empty netter, but you still are dragging another hockey player who's trying to stop you.
Yeah, he was the boat, and that guy was a water skier. But yeah,
and
not
I mean,
only
and that's
that,
why he's our goat, 100%.
not only that, he got knocked down on the play at the end after he scored.
True.
And some would say it wasn't intentional. The guy was trying to swing his stick at the crossbar or whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know if I buy that, but as they say, let the league look into it, let them handle it, let them figure out what dopey ass move they're going to make as far as discipline. And I'm not too worried about it. He's fine. Okay, so final score of that one, 5-2. That caps the week that was on the ice. Previews of the next 3 games, of course, is the annual West Coast Road Swing. Tuesday, the 3rd. It is against the surging San Jose Sharks, 10:30 puck drop there. And then they go down the coast to see the LA Kings at Staples Center, 10 o'clock puck drop there, our time. Then they get a day off, and Friday night it's against the Quack Quack Ducks. That ought to be something of an interesting game, given what happened last time.
Exactly.
So, yeah, that's yeah. And then it's on to the week after. And you know what? I was going to save this for next week, but you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and whip it out right now.
Oh,
I can't wait.
The family show.
Yeah, I think we pole vaulted over that by now.
Okay.
I cannot wait for this game because I really hope. What I'm talking about is December the 9th back at home against the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Oh,
I've been looking for this. I've been looking forward to this game all year long, ever since the offseason, when I heard that they acquired a new backup goalie. You get ready for this name. Mm-hmm. His name? Elvis Merzlikins. For purely selfish reasons, I really hope that he gets the start in that game. I doubt he will because he actually hasn't won a game all year.
Oh my God. You just like the name.
Yeah. I so love the name. And when I heard that they signed him, it's like I have to be there. Whatever I do, I have to make sure I see that game because I know he's going to be mentioned at least once. And if that doesn't make the all-name team, I don't know what will.
Oh, there are so many.
I'm sure, but
that's a good one.
That one's up there. That one's up there as far as goalies.
Absolutely. But
of course, and I'm going to beat you to the punch here. I know in your book there will be never ever anyone besides one Tuukka Rask.
I love Tuukka Rask.
Of course you do. Speaking of him, we will face him and his Boston Bruins the very next game that week, Wednesday the 11th, 7 o'clock puck drop there at Capital One as well.
Yeah.
So there's other games. Later.
I do have to ask you just one quick question because I know your schedule is crazy with your work, and my teaching schedule is not so much crazy, but I definitely need my sleep. So with the next 3 games starting at 10:20 against the Sharks, which is killing me that I'm not going to see it. Then the Kings and Anaheim. Are we still going to do a show next week?
Good question. I'm not sure yet, and if we do one, the recaps will probably obviously be something of a breeze because I can't see unless I get it. Well, that Tuesday game, Tuesdays are usually my one day off, so
right.
I might be able to sit through all of that.
Okay, I wasn't. I mean, I know it gets late, and I know it's tougher for both of us. So I just thought I'd throw it out there that I wasn't sure if we would have a show, but I'm up for anything. I mean, I can record it, I can watch highlights, I can do whatever, but when they drop the pucket. Although I don't know, of the three, I really want to see the Sharks one.
Yeah, and that's the one that fits best in my schedule. So yeah, we may feature that one. So we will probably try to tough it out. But if something comes up where we can't, we'll certainly make an announcement beforehand.
Sounds good.
All right, so that's previews of coming attractions for the next 4 or 5 games in the week that is the Washington Capitals. Okay, so we're headed towards the end of another episode. Did you hear about the Caps Canine calendar?
Did I hear about it?
Oh, did you want to say something?
Oh, you know what? I know, I'm sorry. You mentioned something before. I've only seen the amazing pictures. I know that the money all goes towards the charity. I don't have enough information on it to right now. So that's my bad. I apologize, but
okay.
I know the calendars are out there, and I know they're $20.
Okay, fair enough. So if you get more information on that for in time for next week or later on, certainly enlighten us about that. Okay, so as I said at the beginning, at the end of my statement, if you wish to contact me and message or discuss with me privately about said recent events, I can be contacted at the following. I'm at Twitter at BlueLiner98. That's at BLULINER 98. I will also give out my personal email address. That's GLHALLOWED, GLHallowed at yahoo.com. Best way, of course, to reach me is if you are a member of our Facebook page. That's the Power Play Point Podcast Facebook page. Friend either Anna or myself, become a member today. That way you have access to our messenger system, and we can discuss it there as well. So one of those 3 ways, feel free to contact me if you have the urge to discuss this situation and you really want my take on it. That would be how you contact me. And again, leave Anna exempt because she's already said what she said. Okay, so we've come to the end of another episode, this episode 117. And so for Anna Knox, this is the Blue Liner on Point signing off and reminding you that while my friends claim I'm the cheapest guy I know, I'm not buying it.
No.
Yes.
No.
Hallelujah, and let's go Caps.
Go Caps.
This has been another episode of the Power Play Point Podcast. All episodes are available from Apple Podcasts, the Podbean app, BlueLiner77.podbean.com, and now available from Stitcher. Music by Joe McAllister, voiceover by Jeffrey Conkle.